Chief Rabbi, Rabbanim, Rebbitzins, Lords and Ladies, Chaverim of Bnei Akiva, Chag Atzmaut Sameach! I want to begin tonight with a story. Before Moshe Rabbeinu led the Jewish people out of Egypt, before the plague shook the empire, before Har Sinai and thunder of Revelation, Moshe was a simple shepherd. The Midrash tells us that one day, while tending the flock, a small lamb wandered off. It slipped away unnoticed until Moshe saw it and began to chase after it. He followed it across the terrain until finally he found it. The lamb was standing by a pool of water, drinking. And when Moshe reached it, he didn't react with anger or frustration. He didn't rebuke it, saying, "Why did you run away?" Rather, he said something extraordinary. "I didn't realize you were thirsty. You must be tired." Then he did something even more extraordinary. He lifted the lamb onto his shoulders and carried it back. At that moment, Hashem said, "Because you show such care for a single lamb, you are worthy to lead my people, Israel." Not standing above people, but carrying them. Not commanding from a distance, but seeing, understanding, responding to what each individual needs. Not power, but responsibility. That is Jewish leadership. And the question is, where do we see that kind of leadership today? In this very room. As we stand here tonight, transitioning from the darkness of Yom HaZikaron to the joy of Yom HaAtzmaut, we mark Israel's 78th year of independence. 78 years since David Ben-Gurion declared that the Jewish people had finally returned home. 78 years of building, defending, and achieving the impossible. 78 years of dreaming of safety, of security, and being able to live without fear. I would like to ask a question that goes to the heart of what we're doing here, in this room, in this movement. Why Bnei Akiva? Why does it matter? We are not a social club. We are not just a place to hang out with Jewish friends. We are not just about having fun on summer machana. We are a movement. And that word tenuah means something profound. It means we are moving towards something. We have a vision. We have a purpose. We have Torah ve'avodah. Let me be crystal clear about what makes us different. In a world where everything is becoming more vague, more diluted, more whatever works for you, Bnei Akiva stands for something specific. We celebrate Torah. We champion Aliyah. And we preach Avodah. We are the children of Rabbi Akiva, the man who began learning Torah at age 40 and became the greatest Talmid Chacham of his generation. The man who lost his life, Al Kiddush Hashem, who saw destruction and laughed because he knew that prophecies of redemption would come true. We don't just learn about Rabbi Akiva. We embody his revolutionary idea that Torah and building the land are not in conflict. They are one vision. The Mishnah says, Ha'imdu talmidim harba. Raise many students. Not just teach them, raise them, elevate them, help them become the people they are meant to be. This is the mission we inherited. This is what makes us different. Torah v'avodah is not a slogan. It is a belief. A belief that says you cannot have authentic Judaism without a commitment to Medinat Israel. And you cannot build a true Jewish state without Torah as its foundations. This is what the Mizrahi movement understood when they joined the Zionist movement in 1902. This is what our founders knew in 1929 when they established Bnei Akiva in Jerusalem. This is what Aryeh Handler understood when he established our movement here in the UK against impossible odds. This is the fire that still burns in every one of us when we stand in Mifkad and declare, Am Yisrael, Be'eretz Yisrael, Al Pi Torat Yisrael. And look at what ideology has created. Since 1929, we have built kibbutzim. We have served in the army. We have established yeshivot and midrashot. We defended Israel's borders. We educated generations and shaped the character of religious Zionism. This is not just history. This is right now. 36 of our Bogrim made Aliyah last year. 40 of our Majachim are going on Hachshara next year. All of our Chanachim in this room will be leaders in 5 years and building Israel in 10. And here is the remarkable thing. We do not wait for adulthood to demand commitment. We ask 10-year-olds to think about their Jewish identity. We ask teenagers to lead. We ask 18-year-olds to dedicate a year or a lifetime to Israel. And here's what most people don't understand or believe. It works. We're the largest religious Zionist youth movement in the world, not because we dilute our message, but because we refuse to compromise on it. We're the training ground for Anglo-Jewish leadership, not because we're a nice social option, but because ideology creates leaders. We send more people on Aliyah than any other movement in the UK, not by accident, but by design. That's the power of knowing what you stand for. Look around this room. You chose to be here, not because someone forced you, not because there weren't easier options. You're here because deep down you know that a life without purpose is empty. You're here because you want to be part of something bigger than yourself. You're here because Torah v'avodah speaks to something real in your soul. Our Majachim and Bogrim give up their time because they believe in something real. Our Chanachim show up because they are being built into something greater. And this brings us back to Moshe, because what was true for him is true for us. Leadership is not about titles. It is about responsibility for people. To our Majachim, you are the shepherds of this generation. You carry your Chanachim. You notice when someone is struggling. You give your time, your energy, your Shabbatot. You're doing exactly what Moshe did. And I don't think you fully realize how extraordinary that is. You are not just participating in B'nai Akiva, you are B'nai Akiva. Think about Machaneh. On Machaneh, we build a model of the world we believe in, a world where Torah and Avodah are lived, not just spoken about. And that only exists because of you. Every pa'alah, every conversation, every moment you invest, you are shaping Jewish identity. So to every Bogar and Bogaret, Madrich and Madricha, thank you. Thank you for believing that your time matters. Thank you for understanding that ideology without action is empty. Thank you for embodying what it means to serve something greater than yourself. Thank you for being our shepherds. And to our Chanachim, watch your Majachim closely. They're showing you what Jewish leadership looks like. It's not about being the loudest or the most popular. It's about caring enough to give your time. It's about believing in something worth sacrificing for. It's about understanding that the Jewish people need you to step up, not step back. In a few years, you'll be the Majachim. You'll be the ones planning Pa'alot and losing sleep over Machaneh and trying to figure out how to explain complex ideas to younger Chanachim. And you'll understand what your Majachim knew, that there's no greater privilege than being trusted to shape the Jewish future. So I want to leave you with a challenge. What does Torah v'avodah mean in your life? Not in a theory, not on a t-shirt, in your actual choices. Are you growing in Torah? Are you building your connection to Israel? Are you preparing to contribute to the future of the Jewish people? Because ideology is not something you have. It is something you live. Am Yisrael Chai, not by accident. The Jewish people live in every generation. There were Jews who refused to let our people fade into history because there were movements like ours that demanded more than the status quo. Because there were young people willing to dedicate themselves to something eternal. And on this night, as we celebrate 78 years of Jewish independence, we recommit ourselves to that vision. Tonight we dance, we celebrate, we sing Hatikva with the knowledge that our hope is not in vain. But tomorrow, and every day after, we work, we learn, we build, we lead, we live Torah v'avodah with the intensity and commitment that this moment in Jewish history demands, because that is who we are. This is what B'nai Akiva stands for. At a time of rising anti-Semitism, which has left our community shaken and pained, we stand stronger, prouder, and more united than ever. And that is why we will continue to lead the way for British Jewry and for the entire Jewish people. Chag Atzmaut Sameach, and may we merit to celebrate next year's Yom Ha'atzmaut in Yerushalayim.